Good morning and happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, April 29th, and I am coming at you with lesson number 9. So we just finished our water unit. So 3.4 water, talking about the urinary system, is done. And you should have last week on Friday gotten lesson 8, which was the essential skill for the nephron and for the kidney for water. So before I jump into lesson 9, I have been making a little bit of a list. I have a little pad of paper that I've been writing down and taking a list of questions that you guys have had as they come in so that we can start talking about them at our Google Meet. So our next Google Meet will be Friday noon, right? That's our noon time. So Friday at noon. So I'd like to cover a couple of those things that I've been getting kind of common questions about, because in this format, you guys have been doing a good job of getting your hyperdocs in and getting your information in, but there's no real answer keys, and we haven't had an opportunity to kind of review your work because people are on their own pace, and I don't want to talk about something just to be able to give those people who haven't done it the answers. So if you do have questions about the content, send me an email or come to the Google Meet. The one off the top of my head that I've been asked a couple times is the diagnoses for the case studies for lesson number 7. So lesson number 7 was about urinalysis, and there were 6 case studies that you read through and gave a diagnosis. Some were more clear than others. There was 1 or 2 that were a little bit tricky. So I will talk about those on Friday. So if you are working through lesson 7 or have questions about that, make sure you come on Friday at noon. The other question I got was, I think, from one of the very earlier ones that was more catered towards my PBS kids. I think it was lesson 2, like going back and using the codon, the universal codon chart and stuff like that. So I can cover that too. So make sure that you are showing up on those Fridays ready with questions. And then I told you guys last week, I think we're going to play Kahoot on Friday. So I'll try and find a fun Kahoot that we can all play on Friday. So for today's lesson, lesson number 9, we are starting Unit 4. So Unit 4 is all about movement. So we're going to be talking about, actually, I can show you. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I think this is you guys. I kind of pasted out and did a little bit of a guide of where we're going. So Unit 4, yep. So Unit 4 has a few different concepts in it, all about movement. So we're starting with the joints, and then we're going to go functional range of motion. We're going to talk about muscles and how muscles work and how muscles contract. And then the last 2 are blood flow, so the movement of blood flow, which is a little bit of a review. We've talked about like veins and arteries and stuff like that before, and blood pressure, but we'll talk about that again for blood flow. And then exercise physiology, going back a little bit of a review of cellular respiration and what that means and how your muscles are getting energy in different types of exercise. And that's it. And then we'll do a essential skill after that. So that'll put us towards the end of May for Unit 4. And then Unit 5 is really short. We've just got skin, bones, and a little bit of like the immune system, lymph nodes, and blood cells. So that is my pacing. We'll see if we can keep up with that and keep these just short and brief. But starting with joints today, I have a video for you to watch. I'm kind of getting away from the Ed puzzle. I felt like they were super cool in the beginning, and I do have a place for it, but I feel like I would rather you use the video, watch it, and then just answer the questions on the actual HyperDoc. So I have a video, a YouTube video linked here and then you are using that video to fill out the 6 different types of synovial joints. So what's the name of the joint? Where would you find it in the body? Just give me 1 or 2 examples, and then a description of the movement. So what kind of movement is it allowing in your body? And a little bit of description of the movement. So there are your 6 different joints to look at. And then a couple questions about the different types of joints and movements. One here about tendons versus ligaments and how those are similar and how they are different. And then for the apply task, we would have been able to look at I actually have them in my classroom, cow elbows, and looking at cow elbows and how they move and the parts of the elbow and how they are similar or different versus human elbows. So I added 2 pictures here to give you kind of a reference point of what it looks like. You can find it right there. They're kind of tucked up in the front legs of the cow. If I zoom in here, you can see that here is the humerus right here. It's almost up in like the front chest of the cow, and then here is the ulna and the radius. And then you can see that the carpals and the metacarpals and the phalanges go down into the leg. So the actual elbow joint is tucked up here. And one kind of funny thing about cows is that that you can feel when you're opening and closing this joint, but when you um, are looking at when you're looking at the cow elbow, right, you can see the whole cranial process right there and the humerus and then the ulna and the radius. What you can do is you can actually open it and it locks out and you can feel it kind of pop into place, and it locks out on purpose because it allows cows to save energy when they're standing. So they can lock out both of their front legs so that they're using less energy um, and not supporting as much weight as if you were like bending. Think about how much energy you use if you're doing like a wall sit, right, where your knees are bent and your back's up against the wall versus just standing up. So for them able to be able to really lock out those elbows, then they can save energy. And that also comes with the funny, not funny, terrible prank of people doing the cow tipping. And when the cows are sleeping, standing up, you can push them over. Not nice. But yes, cows can lock their elbows. So that's why there was also maybe I'll try and find it later, but there is a skit on Sesame Street when my kids were really little that we watched that cows can go upstairs, but they can't go downstairs. So, true fun fact for you that the way that the structure dictates function, that cows can walk upstairs, but they can't walk downstairs. So, in Sesame Street, they had to make a ramp, and they talked about what a ramp was so that the cow could get out of the house and go down the stairs. So, there you go. And then I have just a couple questions about the cow elbow, and that's it. So that is your lesson 9 for today, all about joints. And then lesson 10 on Friday will be about functional range of motion and learning some of those vocab words. So I hope you guys have a good day. I don't have cows outside my window, but I do have sheep. Are you ready for this? Let me see if I can. Let me see. Ooh. So in the neighborhood across from us, they've got the sheep out eating all of the weeds. I know that there's a bunch in Rockland right now, but we took a walk across the street yesterday. Look how cute these little babies are. They have lots of babies. Ooh, lots of babies right now. So we went over and saw the sheep. I like this guy trying to reach for those leaves. Mhm. So reaching up for those leaves. So I hope that you get outside today, take a walk. Maybe you can find the goats in your area. I know they're all over Rockland too right now. Um, and I will see you on Friday at noon. Otherwise, send me an email and have a great week, guys. Bye.